This is my final project that I conducted on the Harry Potter series. I would like to start talking about what the four houses of Hogwarts School of Witchcraft and Wizardry. The first one is Gryffindor, who value bravery, leadership, and courage. The next, Hufflepuff, who value hard work, dedication, and loyalty. Then Ravenclaw, who value wit, intelligence, and knowledge. And lastly, Slytherin, who value ambition, cunning, and resourcefulness. I did my project on Albus Dumbledore, who is so well known for his role as the headmaster of Hogwarts School of Witchcraft and Wizardry. He has positional power in that way. However, there are other titles that he has that are not as well known to other people, such as he is the founder and leader of the Order of the Phoenix. The Order of the Phoenix is an organization set in place to defeat Lord Voldemort, who across the series is portrayed as the bad guy. Also, Dumbledore holds the title of Order of Merlin First Class, which is only awarded to the greatest of the great wizards who have achieved great things in the wizarding and magical world. On top of positional power, Dumbledore also possesses a lot of informational power, which nobody else knows but him. And so the most important thing that Dumbledore knows is Harry's relationship with Lord Voldemort. So Harry is a Horcrux of Lord Voldemort's. A Horcrux is something that is a part of Lord Voldemort's soul. Lord Voldemort has become, across the series, has become this idea more so than a person, and this idea is sectioned off into 7 Horcruxes, and each of these 7 Horcruxes have a part of Lord Voldemort's soul. And Harry, by accident, has become one of those Horcruxes. So having to keep the secret about that with not only his employees, but also all the rest of the students and Harry himself, has brought on a lot of stress to Dumbledore. When talking about stress in Module 2, he does have a lot of innate characteristics that are salient, that successful leaders need to be salient. So they have a lot. A lot of times, Dumbledore shows that he has extremely high levels of self-discipline, especially when having to keep the secrets about Harry and the relationship with Voldemort, but also in the 5th book, The Order of the Phoenix, and the 5th movie, Dumbledore does not make eye contact with Harry one bit because Lord Voldemort can read into Dumbledore's soul. So because Lord Voldemort and Harry are connected, he is scared and he is nervous about the fact that Harry, if he looks Harry into the eyes, that Harry will also be able to figure out what his and Lord Voldemort's relationship is. Also, with all of that self-discipline, there comes a lot of stress tolerance. There are multiple times in the books where he is extremely stressed out, but maintains his composure at all times. Especially in the 2nd movie, The Chamber of the Secrets, Hermione Granger gets petrified, which is essentially kind of like paralyzed, because she makes eye contact with the basilisk in the Chamber of Secrets. When he learns of this, and also not just her, also the other students who have gotten petrified, he keeps his composure, although the stress level is extremely high. He knows how to work well under pressure. And another part where he's extremely stressed out is in the 4th movie, The Goblet of Fire, when Hogwarts School of Witchcraft and Wizardry is hosting the first Triwizard Tournament in over a century. A Triwizard Tournament is actually just a tournament among 3 of the biggest magic schools in the world, and they're actually designed to test your magical ability, your intelligence, and your courage. So, along with that, Dumbledore shows a lot of support for the students and for his co-workers as well. Especially in the beginning of the 5th movie, something happens and Harry has to do underaged magic in front of a Muggle, and the Ministry of Magic decides to expel him from the Hogwarts School of Witchcraft and Wizardry because he was underage, 1, and 2, he did it in front of a Muggle. So what is a Muggle? Well, a Muggle is a non-magic person. They are not exposed to magic, they don't have any magic in their family, they're just normal people. And so the Ministry of Magic threatens to expel him, and they decide to have a criminal court hearing against Harry. But Dumbledore shows up in time and stands up for Harry, he questions the authority of the minister who is actually trying to get Harry expelled, and demands respect. Demands respect from not just the minister and not just Harry, but also all of the other people that are part of the Ministry of Magic. Also, when it comes to showing support and developing characters, or developing subordinates and employees and students, Dumbledore does a phenomenal job of always being the biggest supporter and extremely good nurturer for these students and coworkers. For one such example is Lupin. Lupin is a werewolf who is very close to Voldemort, who doesn't have a job. And in the third movie, Prisoner of Azkaban, Dumbledore allows Lupin to get a job as the new Defense Against the Dark Arts teacher for the students. But the problem is that Lupin is a werewolf, and come the full moon, he has to change into his werewolf form. So what Dumbledore does is he makes special arrangements for Lupin. He makes him a special house where he can change. Nobody will bother him. It's going to be in the middle of the woods. And whenever he's done changing, he can come back on school grounds and keep teaching again. That's just one example how he's supportive and he's a good nurturing leader. Another example, not just of being supportive and a good leader, but also of diversity, is Filch. Filch is a squib who is also employed on school grounds. A squib is somebody who is from a magical family, but does not have any magical power themselves. So he allows Squib to work on campus too. Also, Hagrid. Hagrid is one of Dumbledore's most trusted employees. However, when Hagrid went to school with Tom Riddle, who is Lord Voldemort, because Lord Voldemort also attended Hogwarts, when Hagrid went to school and the Chamber of Secrets was open back then, Tom Riddle blamed Hagrid for opening the Chamber of Secrets, and he was expelled from Hogwarts. And he was never allowed to use magic again. However, Dumbledore brought him back on campus. He's still not allowed to use magic, but he's still given him a job. But with all the good things, there has to be some bad. When talking about Blake and Moon's grid, I think of Dumbledore as a master manipulator. In the books, in the movies, he uses Snape, who is also one of their teachers, the head of house for the Slytherins. He uses Snape's love for Harry's mother to control Snape, to watch over Harry. So what Dumbledore wants is for Snape to watch over Harry. And Snape and Harry don't exactly have the best relationship. And so Dumbledore always uses that manipulation tactic and uses the fact that, well, he's the son of the woman that you once loved deeply and you still love, so you have to do it. Which actually doesn't classify him as that good of a leader. It's really ineffective, and he's using manipulation tactics to do something that manipulation is not necessarily needed for. When it comes to Module 6, and we talk about achievement orientation and path goal theory, I definitely think that before, when Dumbledore was younger, he definitely used to be a lot more achievement oriented, a lot more ambitious. However, what happened was ambition ended up getting his sister killed. And after his sister passed away, he decides to lead with more compassion and humility, and he decides to become more humble. And although he knows that he is one of the best wizards in the entire world, he does not ever show it, per se. And in this sense, when you talk about path goal theory, also, he doesn't give Harry, so in the 9th and the 10th book, the 7th and 8th book in movie, the path goal theory states that if a leader gives you a task as a subordinate, the leader also has to provide you with tools to, complete the task. And when Dumbledore passes away, he tells Harry that there are these Horcruxes, and you have to find them and you have to destroy them. But he does not tell him where those Horcruxes are or even what they are. So Harry is left all alone. And although as a leader, Dumbledore has done a phenomenal job up until now. He is incompetent. He is an incompetent leader in the sense that he doesn't provide Harry with the essential tools and things that he needs to find and destroy these Horcruxes. So, how does Dumbledore die? Well, Dumbledore dies because Snape kills him. Well, why does Snape kill him? So Snape kills him because Dumbledore asks him to. Lord Voldemort has used uses one of the students and says, "I will kill you if you don't kill Dumbledore." And to save that student's soul, Draco Malfoy, to save his soul, Dumbledore asks Snape, if there ever time comes, it has to be either Draco Malfoy or you. I want you to kill me so we can save Draco's soul. And talking about in-group and out-group, well, that's a really bad thing for Snape to be in Dumbledore's in-group because he has to take the burden of killing him himself. Also, in modules 8 and 9, I kind of put them together because diversity and gender and all of that kind of combines into plenty of the themes that are reoccurring throughout the entire series. And so of the 4 houses, like I talked about, Gryffindor, Ravenclaw, Slytherin, and Hufflepuff, 2 of those heads of houses are women. For example, Minerva McGonagall, she's the head of House of Gryffindor, also second in command to Albus Dumbledore, and Severus Snape is the head of House of the Slytherins. And in this scenario, he talks like we talked about in class, diversity is a lot more than just surface level diversity that you can see, like physical characteristics. But in this case, I also took it as an ability to do magic is also a kind of diversity. For example, he allows mudbloods into the school. A mudblood is somebody who is a student who has muggles for parents, so non-magic folk as parents, but is a magical person themselves. For example, Hermione is a mudblood. Draco Malfoy always refers to Hermione as a mudblood. So he accepts mudbloods into the school. Another thing, Filch, like I spoke about, he is a squib. He is a non-magical person hailing from a magical family. He's allowing him to still be on school grounds. And same with Hagrid. He got expelled, still allowing him to be on school grounds. And all of that, including the diversity and everything, I think that makes Dumbledore an exceptional leader. Although he does have his bad points, I think it makes him an above average leader and an extremely transformational leader because he's always out to support and develop and recognize and go above and beyond for his subordinates and employees and students. The end.